In case you forgot, I really like Suikoden 1. I like it a lot. In fact, I made a couple videos talking about how I thought it was a fantastic game. I have now played Suikoden 2, 7 hours and 22 minutes. That doesn't seem like very long. Now, if I was playing Suikoden 1, that would be about halfway through the game. You know, maybe not halfway, that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. I'd be a good chunk of the way in. I feel like I've barely started this game. And I've spent about 10 minutes. I was trying to think, what in Suikoden 1 is better than Suikoden 2? And I mean, I couldn't think of anything. Okay, that is an exaggeration. I did think of one thing. The one mechanic, all right? There is a let go mechanic. When you get stronger than your opponents, you can let them go. And so that way you don't have to do a bunch of fights that don't grant you experience. It's a little more restrictive in this one. You have to be a higher level. In Suikoden 1, I got to use it really quickly, and so I didn't have to do a bunch of fights. This one, you have to definitely do more of them. That's it. I'm telling you, I was expecting Suikoden 2 to be better than Suikoden 1. I wasn't expecting for it to be so much better in every single measurable way. It's hard for me to even, I was gonna write not a script, but like a bullet point thing. I'm not even doing that. I'm just going off the cuff because it was just like, do I want to list 100 things, 1,000 things? Yes, visually it looks better. I think you could argue the music is better. That's a little more subjective for sure. The towns, look how big this town is. Look how big this town is. This town is bigger than all of the towns in Suikoden 1 put together, besides maybe the starting town, which is still 1/8 the size of this town. The equipment system completely fixed. It's enjoyable now. It's not perfect in the terms of your inventory. You have a bag now. You have a community bag where things can go in. You have, you know, new mini games. You have the trading posts. You have a way more advanced rune system. There's not only is there more runes that are more interesting and more varied, the runes also have, you can equip 3 runes on characters. Not only can you equip 3 runes on characters, but they got rid of like the little magic pieces that you had to farm to put in your weapons. Now certain orbs just go into the same orbs you use for magic can also go into your weapons. I haven't even gotten to the castle building yet. I'm 7.5 hours in. Not only do I not own a castle, I don't even know when it's happening. It might happen in the next hour. It might happen in another 7 hours. I don't know. And I don't care. The story is told so much better. I mean, this is what I'm saying. I can't even think of a measurable thing that this game isn't just better at than Suikoden 1. Suikoden 1 is a great game. This is so far, I'm early. This game is setting itself up to be a masterclass, top 5 RPGs of all time kind of game. I mean, I can't tell you how impressed I was with just the animations. The animations of the characters, like this run animation, which I thought was really good in Suikoden 1, now extend that to the entire game. Like, there's this scene where you go to your dojo for the first time and you meet your sister lady, Nanami, and like, she looks in this weird way and then she dashes at you, knocks you on the ground, and starts like shaking your character. I'm not pulling it up right now. I didn't record it, okay? But it's like so much love and detail are put into these characters and their animations. And already there's just been tons of interesting characters. The combat is very similar. I actually think the combat is the only thing that is pretty much identical. It's probably improved on in some ways. I can't go out and look at it right now, but the Unite Attacks seems like the Unite Attacks, they were so fun. There's one of the first Unite Attacks you get is you get a dog and you get a kobold, which is a dog man. And the dog gets on the dog, puts a bone on the end of a fishing rod, and the dog chases the bone and does like double damage to like an enemy or something. It's called the Bow Wow attack. Like that fucking, sorry, I should swear less. That kind of stuff is so crazy. It just like, they get so, this is what I love. The game is serious. People are dying. Villages are burning. Evil men are doing evil things, and good people are attempting to do good things and not always succeeding. and the game is the Yakuza effect. And it also has Bow Wow attack. It also has just the wacky silliness that is so enjoyable. I mean, maybe this is what inspired Yakuza. Maybe Yakuza was already doing stuff. I don't know the timeline. But like, if you've played Yakuza games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The gut-wrenching, make you, you know, bring you to tears storytelling. Then you are fighting, you know, a giant clown army with, you know, a toy giraffe or something. You know, you just don't know. The game gets so wacky and silly. You go to a place and there's a bunch of fully grown men dressed as babies. You know, I don't know if that's some sort of, look, that's about Yakuza. All right, those games are great, by the way. So yeah, initial thoughts. I want to keep it relatively concise. I don't need a 30-minute video about initial thoughts, especially when I'm just going to be walking around this town. I've been pretty much, I had high expectations and they have been surpassed. I think that's kind of hard to do. I have played a lot of older games. I'm going to have some hot takes here. Okay. I'm going to say some things that are hot takes. I have gone in and I have played some older games, and sometimes I have been blown away. Sometimes I have been very disappointed. Let me give you some examples of each. Games that I was severely disappointed by playing for the first time as an adult. Star Ocean 2. I did not think Star Ocean 2 was particularly good in almost any measurable way, outside of how crazy it lets you get overpowered early. However, that falls off if you're playing on the hard mode. The game feels like it was balanced by someone that's never played a game before, to me. Final Fantasy VI. I think Final Fantasy VI is one of the most overhyped games that I've played. I think it's like almost a good game, which means I don't even necessarily think it's a good game. I think for its time, it was probably mind-blowing or whatever, but for me, honestly, just didn't do it. I feel like you have to assume these characters are saying a lot more to each other in more eloquent ways. The dialogue, I think, is really bad. But I like Kefka, I'll admit that. Now, some games that I went back and I played as an adult, Chrono Trigger is every bit as good as all the hype, in my opinion. I played it for the first time at like 30 years old, and it was freaking great, bro. I love Chrono Trigger. It's one of the greatest games ever made. It actually holds up. It is as good as playing it for the first time as 30 as it would have been if I played it for the first time when I was 8. Resident Evil 1, the very first Resident Evil, I got the little PlayStation ripoff thing, right? So I could stream Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1 was my game of the year over all the other games that came out. I was blown away by how good Resident Evil 1 was. Not the remakes, but like the original with the bad voice acting. I love that game. Suikoden 2 has the potential at this point to be on the top of my games that I like as an adult the first time playing. Whether it's going to be as good as Chrono Trigger, listen, let's not get into a debate. All right, you're asking who would win in a fight, God or Jesus? I don't know. It's all the same. But the point is like I had really high expectations for Chrono Trigger. I had high expectations for this, but they weren't that high. Once I played Suikoden 1, they were a little bit higher. This game has been absolutely phenomenal, fantastic. There is no doubt in my mind, if Suikoden, I said Suikoden 1 with the HD remaster was worth the price of entry solo on this package for like whatever, $40 or whatever it is. Some people may not agree with that, and that's totally fine. I have no doubt Suikoden 2 HD Remaster on its own is so much worth that entry level. Is it just a re-release of an old game? Sure, but if you haven't played it, it doesn't matter how old it is. It's been so good so far. I'm sure there's like 100 things that I have forgot to mention that I love about this game that I wanted to, but that just goes to show to the quality of the game. This game has been phenomenal. You should play it. I think it is as good as the hype. It is hard to believe this game came out when it did. I'll give it that, okay? Anyway, guys, that is all for this one. Initial thoughts. I'll let you know how I feel when I'm done. But until next time, much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye! On the rise, watch the views go.